It is Monday, March 18th, and the Splash Zone is back in your life. I'm Matt Modi, and I'm here to give you my 3 favorite NBA player props for tonight's NBA betting slate. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get anything out over the weekend. I still posted, or I guess I should say anything out in terms of a YouTube video. I was still able to post plays to my Dub Club specifically, and then all those plays went out on Twitter as well. And it ended up being a pretty good weekend. On my mainline plays, I went 5-2, up about 3.11 units on those plays. Unfortunately, we've hit a little bit of a cold spell on the ladder plays. I only got 1 of my 4 ladder plays to cash over the weekend. We were up we were down 0.5 units on ladder plays specifically. We also had a cold Friday on ladder plays as well. So like I said, hasn't been a great stretch for ladder plays specifically, but overall, again, pretty good weekend, up 3.11 units. And on the season, it's been incredible. Just the success that we've had is amazing. Friday was a rough day, but we were able to bounce back over the weekend. On the entire season, we are up 76.77 units on our mainline plays. And then ladder plays, which I just started to track officially on February 24th, we are up 5.86 units. I wish I had been tracking that earlier because it would be a lot higher than 5.86, but unfortunately, I can only do what since when I officially started tracking it. But like I said, it's been an incredible season. Everything goes out on YouTube, but if you want everything texted to you earlier, you can get it via Dub Club as well. I'll go into that in more detail at the end of the video. And then everything goes out on Twitter as well. So you can get it for free on YouTube and Twitter, or $5 a month on the Dub Club, which again, I'll get into. Regardless, if you are watching the YouTube video, I would appreciate it if you could like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then, of course, comment on this video specifically. I love reading through and responding to as many comments as I can. So if there are plays that you like that I didn't mention, get those in the comments. If you like the 3 plays that I have today, get those in the comments. Or if you hate everything, you hate the 3 plays I have, totally fine to get those in the comments as well. But enough of that. You're only as good as your most recent bangers. Let's not rest on our laurels. Let's see if we can splash around and get wet today. Starting with our first play, in the Cavaliers versus Pacers game, I'm taking Darius Garland under 6.5 assists. This is best offered at -105 odds at Bet365. So this is a system under assist plays for point guards that I've really started to dive into recently. It's been very fruitful when I have gone to it. I also like the fact that this is a positive expected value play via unabated as well. They project Darius Garland to go under this number, and they have this under 6.5 also with the odds taken into account, the -105, as a pretty high positive EV play based on their market-based projections. So always good to have that kind of confirm the plays that we have. And I have mentioned this system before, but point guards, they just do not get any assists against the Pacers. They just don't do it. On the entire season, the Pacers are allowing 7.2 assists per game, specifically to point guards. That is the lowest in the NBA. Even if you isolate it to the last 30 days to get more recent results, which is what I always like to do, they're actually even better in this category. In the last 30 days, they're only allowing 5.9 assists per game to point guards. Again, that's over the past 30 days. The next closest team is at about 6.7, almost a full assist above them. It's crazy that they just do not allow any assists. Unsurprisingly, Courtside Pal lists the Pacers as the second worst matchup in the NBA when you specifically look at Darius Garland's playmaking style. And what really gets silly is if you can look at this on props.cash, how recent positions have fared via their over-under. Literally not a single player has gone over their assist over-under. Point guard, excuse me. Not a single point guard has gone over their assist over-under since Luka Doncic did it on March 5th. He was the only point guard on the Mavericks that did it in that game. So Kyrie missed and Chris Dunn missed, their backup point guard. And since then, since that Mavericks game, 7 straight point guards have gone under their assist prop against the Pacers. So we're not necessarily fading recent results with Pacers results specifically, but I just think that this assist line is just too high. The reason why I think it's too high is because Donovan Mitchell is out for this game for the Cavaliers. He's going to be missing. So the logic is, increased usage rate for Darius Garland means he's going to get more assists. That's actually not how I see it. He's actually averaging fewer assists per 36 minutes since the All-Star break when he is on the court and Donovan Mitchell is not. So it's not like a D'Angelo Russell, LeBron James situation where when LeBron sits, D'Lo gets like 5 more assists per game. That's not how it's been. He's literally getting fewer assists per 36 minutes when Donovan Mitchell is not on the court. Look at the last couple games he's played without Donovan Mitchell as well. He's missed this assist prop in 3 of 4 games that Spida has missed. Now he gets a matchup against the Pacers that just don't allow any point guards to get assists. I absolutely love this play. And for those of you curious about the basketball reasons why the Pacers don't give up any assists, it's not common logic because their defense is horrible. But part of the reason why their defense is so bad is also the reason why they don't give up any point guard assists, because they have very little perimeter defense. They just allow guys to waltz into the lane, penetrate the interior with very little ease, but they do not send any help, right? They don't crash down from the wings. They don't send their big man off to rotate and see if they can just kind of rotate back from there. They just stick to their man, and if a guy waltzes up into the rim with an easy layup, that's what they'll allow. That's why they give up the most points in the rim, the most points at the restricted area. That's also why they don't give up any assists either. So I love this play. I think it's a very, very good one. Darius Garland, under 6.5 assists, -105 at Bet365. That's our first play. Next up, Knicks versus Warriors. I'm taking Donte DiVincenzo, over 3.5 made three-pointers, -104 odds at FanDuel. I also will have a ladder play here as well, putting a half unit on him to get to 5+ made three-pointers. This is at +230 odds at FanDuel. This one, I admit, is going to feel a little bit scary because DiVincenzo has hit a little bit of a cold streak recently. He's only made 4 or more three-pointers one time in his previous 5 games. And if you look at this recent 5-game stretch, he's only shooting 29.8% from deep, so shooting below 30%. Yeah, that's not good. But what I love is that even if you look at these last 5 games, he's just refusing to not shoot. He still chucks up shots. That's even with the cold streak that he's in. So in the last 5 games, and also in the last 10 and 30 games, there's been no games where he's attempted fewer than 8 3-point attempts. 2 games ago against Portland, he went 2 of 8 from deep. Not a good game. What did he do the very next game? He attempted 12 3-pointers against the Kings in the next game. Shooters slump all the time in the NBA. I say this all the time, but a 40% 3-point shooter doesn't mean he's always shooting 4 of 10 from deep. It means he's going to go 1 of 8, 1 of 7, 1 of 5, 1 of 6. Then he's going to go 8 of 9. That's just how things work in the NBA. And I honestly, part of my betting ethos is to find good shooters that are in shooting slumps and bet on them to go over their 3-point prop. Because things start to trend one way in the NBA, eventually they're going to start swinging back the other way. That's part of the reason why I've been so successful, is with this betting strategy. So I love backing DiVincenzo's 3-point prop. In his past 10 games, he's averaging over 12 3-point attempts per game. That's crazy. He also had a really good stretch prior to this cold one. So the past 5 games, he's been cold. The 5 games prior to that, he was on fire, making 4 more 3-pointers, actually 5 or more 3-pointers, and a 4 of 5 game stretch prior to this 5-game stretch. So yeah, it only makes sense that he's had a cold streak since then. Tonight is the perfect time to ride back in on Donte DiVincenzo. It's a very good matchup against the Warriors. In the last 10 games, he's attempting the most catch and shoot opportunities, or the most catch and shoot attempts. He's attempting the most catch and shoot 3-pointers. There we go. By far, in the last 10 games, by far, he's attempting about 9.7 per game, so almost 10. That's nuts. The next closest guy, that would be Trey Murphy on the Pelicans, and he's all the way down at 7.6. So he's over a 2 full attempts above the next closest guy in the entire NBA. Obviously, with that in mind, he's obviously attempting the most on the Knicks as well, but also by far, he's literally doubling up the next guy on the Knicks in terms of catch and shoot 3-point attempts. The next one is at 4.1. That would be Bogdanovic, literally doubling him. In the same 10-game stretch, the Warriors defense has been allowing teams to attempt the 5th most catch and shoot 3-pointers in the NBA. He did not catch this in his last game against the Warriors, but he attempted a ton of 3-pointers. It is somewhat of a revenge spot for Donte, so I really do like backing him in this matchup. I think he's going to have a good one. Let's hope he comes through for us. Next up, our third and final pick of the video, Grizzlies versus Kings game. I'm taking Keegan Murray over 2.5 made 3-pointers, +110 odds at DraftKings. I'm also going to have a ladder play here as well, laddering him to 4+ made at +280 odds at FanDuel. I will admit this is going to be another scary play. The last 2 are definitely going to be Pepto plays of the day. Keegan Murray has actually been even colder than Donte DiVincenzo. He's been ice cold from deep. I cannot get around that by any means. He's gone under this number in 6 of his last 7 games. Of course, similar to Donte DiVincenzo, prior to this cold stretch that he was on a hot streak, right? He had, again, prior to the 7-game stretch, he had made 3 or more 3-pointers in all 3 of his previous 3 games. So he cashed in 3 straight. And also in that 3-game stretch, he had made a combined 12 3-pointers. And even if you look at the 1 game that he did cash in the past 7, he made 5 3-pointers in that game. So he's shown the ability to catch fire from deep, which is kind of why I like the ladder play. And I think he absolutely has the opportunity to catch fire from deep against a horrid Grizzlies defense, specifically horrid Grizzlies defense guarding the 3-point line. Props.cash will list how a defense fares against a specific position for a prop, right? So they can tell you who's the best defense for 3-point props for point guards, for shooting guards, for centers, whatever. They list the Grizzlies as the best matchup in the NBA for 2 different positions, for both point guards and power forwards. That's what Murray plays. They literally list as the worst defense in the NBA, the best matchup in the NBA when it comes to point guard and power forward 3-point props. I like that because it not only takes into account how much they give up, but also relative to the over-under as well. So like Steph Curry, if his over-under is 5.5 made 3-pointers and he makes 5, that would technically be a good day for literally anybody else in the NBA. That would technically also be considered an under. So that's why I think it's important to look at another source like props.cash. Props.cash also lists the Grizzlies as the second best matchup for shooting forwards. That's 60% of the positions on a basketball court where the Grizzlies are an extremely juicy matchup. The reason why, whenever I see stuff like this, you want to dig into the numbers. The reason why they are such a good matchup for 3-point props is because they allow a ton of catch and shoot 3-pointers, but specifically a ton of wide open catch and shoot 3-pointers. So there are some teams that allow a lot of attempts, but not a lot of makes or shoot them at a high percentage because they do a good job guarding it. That is not the Grizzlies. In the past 10 games, the Grizzlies are allowing teams to take catch and shoot 3-pointers at the 4th highest frequency in the NBA. They're allowing the 2nd most made on the 6th most attempts. They're also allowing, and the reason why they're allowing so many made is because in that same game stretch, they're allowing the 3rd highest frequency of 3-point attempts be considered wide open. NBA.com defines wide open as 6+ feet of space. And again, they're allowing the 3rd highest frequency of wide open 3-pointers. So with this cold streak that Keegan Murray's in, you know what's a great way to get out of a cold streak? Attempt wide open catch and shoot 3-pointers. He leads the Kings, even in this 10-game stretch where he's been ice cold. He leads the Kings both in makes and attempts. And he attempts about a shot and a half more than the next closest guy in terms of catch and shoot 3-point attempts, who would be Harrison Barnes. So I really think this is an awesome play. I love all 3 of these. 2 of them definitely feel scary, but that's kind of how NBA betting goes. I think that's the reason why I've been so successful, is because I like to bet and fade recent results, which a lot of people are scared of. Let's hope that today ends up being a good day. But that's all we got. 3 bangers for you guys to lock in. Appreciate everybody. Again, if you could like, comment, subscribe. And the last thing I'll mention, I mention it at the end of every video. I also mention it at the beginning as well, but I do have a dub club. So the way I have my dub club work is as soon as I decide what a play is, I send it out on dub club. You'll get it sent to your email and via Telegram as well. So you'll get it set directly to your phone. Now, I do want to be clear that everything I send out on Dub Club, you can get for free either on YouTube or on Twitter. My logic for even starting the Dub Club in the first place is there are some people that want to tail the picks, but they don't care about the YouTube video, or they don't always have time to watch the YouTube videos, but they still want to tail. Or sometimes by the time they watch the YouTube video, the odds have changed. So they're saying, hey, you know, there's zero way that I could get these earlier. That's why I came out with the Dub Club. Again, it gets sent immediately right to your phone, 1 play at a time, so I can very much try to make it so the odds don't change by the time you lock it in. And it's only $5 a month. I only charge $5 a month because you can get it for completely free on YouTube and Twitter. However you want to do it, pay the $5 to get them early, wait to get them for the best price in the world, which is free, is totally fine with me. I just like giving people the option, and that's all we got. Appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.